touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Alrighty, folks. We're coming at you live here from Armory Digital Superspeedway for the season opener for the SEMA USA Trucks Western Division. And you're probably going to recognize some faces in the field. Not a lot of people have left the West Division. There have been a few people that have jumped from West to East. And so tonight you're definitely going to see the best of the West. So one slight mistake. Al Bunch is going to race here tonight. He is actually going to commit to the East Coast. So he's going to make the season opener here tonight on his home side of the states in the West Coast, and then hop on over to the East Coast and run the rest of the season. So just one minor technicality there. Front row, you got Bailey Parker and Matthew Fabsnot on the front row. Quite the qualifying session for Bailey Parker. Behind that, you got Al Bunch, Jonah Burridge, Lucas Holmes, and Guido Piano, Casey Clays and Tasha Wright, Violet Boyd and Jamie McMurphy, followed by Zach Lagoon and Osceola Escobar, Trevor Walker with Willow Blake alongside of him, Trevor Bates and Tyler Sustre, Jacob Shangle and Casey Nonico, Billy Lovejoy with Adam Starr, Jamison Cole, Monty Shangle, Paul Ladino and Ray Marcus, Santi Messi and Roach, Noah Hobson and Luis Rodriguez, Jack Davis and Stephen Walker, Rich Roy and Krista Cower, Matthew Hubert and Brian DeBlank, Anheuser Wagner and Jason So, Chris Harvey, Pat Durham, and Daniel Paulus round out your field here for tonight's 151 mile race. Hopefully everyone's excited for the SEMA racing start here. We've got 4 races on the docket. USA Trucks start off our very, very busy season opening week. Tomorrow night you've got Barista Cup action. Wednesday night you've got ARCA. And then of course capping it all off with the Cup Series on Thursday. Bailey Parker on pole has never won a race in SEMA racing competition yet, so good start to the day, might help him. Obviously, super speedway racing, very unpredictable. You know, it doesn't really matter where you start. It helps a little bit that you'll be able to stay out of trouble early, but eventually you'll just kind of get shaken in with the rest of them here. Flag waves and we're off and roaring here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Al Bunch taking a dive down low here. And to take that early lead, it's going to be Al Bunch. As they get 3 and 4 wide throughout the whole field here, this track is definitely an exciting one to watch racing on. As you see a lot of fanning out, a lot of drafting, and we're going to see a lot of lead changes here tonight. Osceola Escobar making a dive down low here. Osceol's not yet won in the Truck Series either, so could we maybe see a surprise winner tonight, especially since road course racing lends itself to some surprise winners. New to the series, this is Violet Void and her maiden voyage in the USA Trucks. First ever start, already running towards the front of the field. Part of Willow Racing with Willow Blake, the team owner. Both them expected to have a stellar season this year. Pun slightly intended. As you can see, the Astra Lost in Space paint scheme on that number 0 Toyota. And don't look now, you got Jonah Burridge in the 07 Thomas the Choo Choo Train paint scheme right there behind her. Osceol leading the way. Violet Void in second, and now Jonah Burridge popping up to third here as Bailey Parker, your pole setter, settles right back into the top 5. Matthew Fastnot following right behind that. So far, haven't seen any chaos, but it did look like someone pulled off. I need to get my my chat box up on NR since I've moved to the new computer. I don't actually have a way to check and see what mechanical failures people are having. I should have done that before starting the race today, but I might just need a reminder later tonight on Discord, hopefully, that I don't forget to do that for the next race. So apart from Chasey Plays pulling off, that did break up the front of the field a little bit. Got a breakaway in the action, about top 12, top 15. Tasha Wright and Trevor Walker just out on the tail of the next draft. And yeah, with 151 miles, this race is going to go by pretty quickly here tonight. Given that we don't have too much carnage and chaos. With our truck series, you often see some more wrecks than you see in the other series between Bridge to Cup, ARCA, and Cup. Usually Cup, it's a 50-50 on whether you're going to have a wreck fest or just a leisurely stroll in the park for the most part. Definitely liking what I'm seeing out of the Toyotas at the front of the field here. 5 of the top 5 all Toyotas at the moment. So Toyota did their R&D in the off-season here and seemed to have shown up with the Super Speedway package. Kind of interesting with Al Bunch switching from TRD to his own team again. Managed to stick with Toyota. So when ownership changed hands there, he felt that the Toyotas were definitely where the speed and success was going to be. Whereas he used to be a Dodge team owner at one point. Might be a Toyota for life now. Here we've got Trevor Walker joining the party. This is a very common scene in the Western Division of USA Trucks where Trevor Walker has just been undeniably the best talent in the field. Between him and Trevor Baden, we saw the Trevor and Trevor show last year. But I kind of, maybe I should be focusing at the front of the field here as we've got Willow Blake now leading in the 0-1. She kind of showed up out of nowhere to steal the lead there. Osceol gets it back pretty quickly. Willow and Violet side by side teammates there. Those two trucks are firing on all cylinders here today. We're already 8 laps through the first truck race of the season here. Got some comers, some goers. Definitely feels like we've almost hit the glass ceiling with this USA Truck Series. We saw last year the dominance out of Trevor Ventures, and I think the other teams took that as a challenge this year to try and step up their game. And so with that dominance from Trevor Ventures in 2024, I think we're going to see a little bit more parity, and I would not be surprised one bit if this may come down to about 10 trucks within the 15 races that we have, maybe 10 different winners that would lock their way into the combined championship. It's kind of crazy. In 2023, the West was definitely the Wild West because we had so much parity, so many different winners. However, it teeter-tottered on the following year in 2024. The West became the predictable division, whereas the East became kind of wild in its own right. So maybe there's going to be this reoccurring trend with no, describable reasoning behind it, where your wild division is just going to flip-flop back and forth between the West and the East. Perhaps it's the West's turn this year to have that parity show up again. And we've got very little data to go off of here specifically because this is a super speedway and it's unpredictable as is always. So it's really hard to gauge your entire season based off of this super speedway race. But what I'm seeing here tonight is definitely showing us strength from drivers that we have not seen running at the front of the field. Bailey Parker, your pole setter, running back towards the lead here. He's going to have to let up as Willow drives around the outside. So I gotta do some thinking here, James. I don't think this is the division that's got the 90 in it. I could be mistaken, but I think the 30 along with, figure out. Oh yes, you've got Santi Messi in the 5. That's one of your other team trucks. And then the 48 is a KBM truck. So the 90 is actually on the East Coast with the 50. Well, lap traffic kind of spoiled the party at the front here. It looks like Violet Void shuffled backwards there. A couple others, including Al Bunch, stuck up high, but it looks like the big winner in the whole mix is going to be Tasha Wright as she's jumped up into the top 5 there briefly. 49, even though he's a lap down now, seems to be running competitively up at the front here. And if you're new to the USA Trucks, thanks for tuning in, first off. Secondly, one of the new features that we're going to implement throughout of our Sigma season of racing this year on super speedways in particular, if we have green flag pit stops, we will throw a caution once everyone gets sorted through those green flag pit stops. Reasoning behind that, with NR2003, the AI are not very smart when it comes to green flag pit stops at super speedways, and they usually get so spread out that the racing suffers significantly towards the end of one of these. So consider it a Sigma comp caution, where we'll pretty much throw competitive caution, competition caution to reset the field and get them out there and racing in the full pack again. Correct. You do have the 30, the 48, and the 5 on the west. You also have the 5, the 50, and the 90 on the east. So for purposes, we do allow separate individual numbers on the east versus the west. Once it comes down to the combined championship at the end of the year, we'll simply discern the two between 5E and 5W. Definitely still very early in the race here. A lot of racing to be done. I think we're going to start seeing where pit strategy might factor in for some of these drivers. As early as it is right now, you can't really win the race running up front. Definitely save yourself some trouble if a wreck starts to happen behind you. This long green flag run so far, looks like we're starting to see some of the faster trucks settle in at the front of the field here. So many times with Armory, you'll see standard, conveyor belt action through the field. But for whatever reason here in particular, we do get kind of the breakout leader that'll lead consecutive laps, which is unusual for Superspeedway in NR2003. When you look at tracks like Daytona and Talladega, where no one can seem to stay out front for much more than a couple laps at a time. And that's what we're seeing right now with Trevor Walker, is he's holding that lead, and he's held it for about the last 3 to 4 laps here. At 49, not for position, as it's a lap down truck. But the 26 is going to be for position. We have not seen Jamison Thole at the front of the field. A little bit of help from one of his Chevy partners there from a different team. Tasha Wright pushes the 26 Chevrolet to the front of the field, and he leads that lap by the narrowest of margins there, 0.01 over Trevor Walker. Still amazing here in the USA Trucks that Chevy has only won one race. And we've been at it for about 3 years now, since 2022. Chevy's only had one win, and that one was none other from none other than John Hagan at the Chili Bowl racetrack. And it was a wild race, and obviously kind of almost felt more like a super speedway with how unpredictable that race was. But was able to get Chevy its one and only win about 2 years ago. It's growing, it's getting back to another, large deficit that they still haven't found victory lane. Trevor Walker, though, gets back around on the outside. That truck is all in the mail here so far. You've got a truck capable of winning if you can pass on the outside as well as the inside. This is a brand new side of Jamison Thole that we have never seen in the USA Trucks. That 26 truck takes the spot again, leading 2 consecutive laps here. Yeah, totally. It's crazy that Chevy has been winless still. Well, with one win to their name now, but weird statistics that you'll only find if you run the series. It's like you never know what's going to unfold in the NR world of racing. Here we go, Tasha making the move on him for the lead here. Tasha's kind of a example of what the Chevy team has been able to achieve this year with Cording Brothers Motorsports taking the dive. Maybe not taking a dive per se, but definitely taking a chance to jump from, winning curriculum that they've been running for so many years to try and revive the Chevy brand. And so we're going to see just how far it goes for KBM this year, but I think it's going to be good that finally Chevy might have their flagship, scratch that, not might, they do. They have their flagship team for the first time in the truck's, you know, pretty early history that we've been able to put together here. But it's definitely, they're the David versus the Goliath, which is Toyota. Toyota has been top notch. Dodge got to shine for a while. Ooh, and Jamison Thole. Commentators jinx kicked in there, I think. I kind of talked him into a mistake. The 26 kisses the wall there and loses a whole bunch of track there. Well, I am going to make a quick break here. You're going to go side by side. This is a new feature I'm trying to roll through with our Sigma Racing. So think of it as a commercial break. I'll be back in just a brief moment, but don't go anywhere as we're going to have side by side. Well, the racing keeps on the high level here as a lot of 3 and 4 wide racing action throughout the whole field. It's amazing how we still have so many people all within the top draft here. It's a long ways from first to last, but everyone's within range of getting right back into the mix. There's a very familiar front of the field as we see the 20 and 21 leading the way. The Trevor and Trevor show maybe part 2 or extending its season to another year in 2025. You're going to see a little bit of a different horizon for this Trevor Ventures team on the east side. After Jordan Walker won the championship in 2024, Trevor Ventures was able to land Alex Sanvital, whom also, I might note, went on a tear at the end of 2024 and won 3 races in the chase. So they had their eyes on that driver in particular and landed another stellar driver. So expect to see a lot of Alex Sanvital on the east side for Trevor Ventures. It's going to be like Jordan Walker never left because they got a new driver to fill that number 10 seat. It's going to be a very hot commodity. Violet Void getting back to the front again here. And we're also seeing Billy Lovejoy. Kind of that plain Jane looking number 2 Armor All truck. You know, not every truck's got to be flashy. Kind of gives you the Intimidator vibes with that number 2 Chevy. Your first ever truck champion, you got Guido Piano right there in the mix as well now. By the way it's looking, there's quite a few opportunities here for a first-time winner just alone in the top 10 right now. Trevor Walker has got the setup for the outside line here. That 21 truck continues to pass on the high side. That's an impressive setup that 21 truck has, and it's going to be tough to beat. But you'll still notice that the inside line is going to prevail when it comes to the front stretch here. He ain't going to lead this lap because the inside's got the speed. Oh, and it's going to be tight. Yeah, the 19 ended up prevailing and taking the lead lap that time. Just imagine if that would have been the last lap of the race. That could have been one of the photo finishes that we're always striving for here in Sigma competition. Well, we're officially halfway, 29 down, 29 to go. These drivers are driving very professionally here. No wrecks yet, no caution. And fastest lap belonging to Daniel Paulus at 196 miles an hour. That is insanely fast for these trucks. Usually the speeds you'd expect to see out of a cup car. I'm thinking our trucks might be on par with our cup cars. We already know from Sigma Speedster days that we had that the fastest time qualifying was a 46, so they're still about a second off, but not by much. Not by much at all. Probably getting close to about pit stop time. Usually in these truck races, it's about a halfway pit stop and then halfway to go to the finish. As I mentioned once already tonight, you're definitely not going to win the championship out of the gate. But a win here tonight does go a long way in prepping you for that championship battle towards the tail end of the season. A win here today will earn them a berth in the chase, which is where we have the East and the West Coast, the top 10 from the East, the top 10 from the West. And obviously it's a win and you're in, so you could be 25th in the points. You got to be in the top 25. But if you're 25th in the points with one win, you will be in the chase. That's the danger zone right there. As you see Violet Void and Osiel Escobar, they had to kind of let up there. Osiel, I think, took the worst into that as he's still struggling to get back into a comfortable position. Here we have another newcomer to the series, Ray Marcos in the 76. Oh, and Violet Void making her first pit stop here. It's going to be a lonely trip down pit road, it looks like. Just her taking the stop. And so keep an eye on the rest of the field here on when they start to make their pit stops. We're going to have to keep our eyes on who the last one is to make a pit stop. Kind of funny, we ended the 2024 season on a super speedway, and of course, like most, you end up starting the season on a super speedway as well. Not very often do you see an end and start with both super speedways. That's definitely the fun part about super speedway racing is the opportunity for someone new to kind of steal the show. And what a feel-good story it would be to be on top in the season opener up against some of the top names like Trevor Baden here, Brian DeBlanc, Trevor Walker. These are the guys that have been competing for championships each year. Heck, I would put Matthew Fastnaugh in the same group as those people I just mentioned, because Fastnaugh just finds ways to win. Even when he's not having the greatest of seasons, he'll find a way to victory lane and make it a worthwhile season. So that number 09 DuPont truck there, that's who I'm talking about. Fastnaugh in the 09, he has been in it since 2022. He is probably one of the more seasoned veterans, along with the likes of Trevor Walker and even Brian DeBlanc, who've been at it since the beginning pretty much. We're simply waiting for the rest of everyone to make their pit stops here so we can throw the comp caution. These two stay out a little longer. It's going to be Noah Hobson and Billy Lovejoy sticking it out here. I hope to hear everyone's approval or disapproval on the new rule that we're implementing on super speedways. Who's all for it and who's not, with the mandatory comp caution after green flag pit stops to allow it to be a more competitive race. I'm sure it's going to be one of those topics that's definitely polarizing. You've got, some people standing on one side of the fence and definitely have people standing on the other. And so as we wait, we must wait till the last of them come out and rejoin the racing surface and get halfway through their warm-up lap. And then we'll throw that comp caution. Alrighty, so we are under caution for the first time here tonight. Everyone made their full round of pit stops. Still only one truck lap down. That was the 49 who lost a lap earlier in the race. I don't have the ability to give wave rounds until I get the new chat bar enabled in NR2003. But as we will get set for the restart here in a couple laps, let's go through the running order. You've got the 95 of Anheuser-Wagner at the front right now with Matthew Fastnot, Billy Lovejoy, then Guido Piano and Brian DeBlanc. Brian DeBlanc's an interesting one because he's out there in a Volkswagen Amarok. There's only a couple Amaroks in the USA trucks. We did see Volkswagen under the KBM banner last year, so their numbers shrunk a little bit. Perhaps resources have been diverted to North Central Texas team run by Brian DeBlanc. Seems to be helping with at least tonight's race here, running up towards the front. He also's got a comrade in the Volkswagen camp with Jack Davis right behind him. Then Trevor Walker's teammate, Trevor Vaden. I got a little bit mixed up there. Newcomer, Ray Marcus. Osiel Escobar. Willow Blake. Kat Durham. Luis Rodriguez. And his KBM teammate, Santi Messi. Paul Ladino midfield right now. The 88 of Casey Nanico. The 0 of Violet Void running 16th. We do know she's got the power to get to the front. The 15 rather, of Noah Hobson. Krista Cower behind him. The 21 of Trevor Walker, definitely midfield right there. Jonah Burridge. Jason So. Matthew Hubert. Spinham Walker. Kyler Sestre. Adam Starr. Jamie McMurphy. Zach Magoon. Rich Roy. Tasha Wright. Monty Shangle. Chris Harvey. And surprisingly, still the fastest lap in the race, Daniel Paulus. This truck hasn't been running up towards the front, so I don't know where that speed is. Hasn't been able to convert it to running order yet. The 03, your pole setter, Bailey Parker, deep in the field now. The 26 of Jamison Thole, 64 of Jacob Shangle, 36 of Lucas Holmes. Chasey plays is a lap down, and it shows that he's in 39th. Al Bunch running in 37th, and Roach in 38th. Now, a lot of those positions don't mean much specifically. Once the green flag drops, it's pretty much going to be a free-for-all. So another couple laps, it looks like we're going to go side by side, give you guys a chance to maybe get up, get a drink, grab a snack, and we'll be back to racing probably within another 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, lights are out on the pace truck. And if you're trying to figure out who's in it for their first win of their career, you're looking at the 95 in the front row there. Anheuser-Walkner, Billy Lovejoy, and Ray Marcus. Those are three drivers in the top 10 right now that could potentially get their first career win. Osiel Escobar as well. And I know Willow Blake's won at least in ARCA, but Willow Blake maybe not in the truck series yet. So that's quite a few names in the top 10 there that could get their first career win here in the USA Trucks. We'll know in just 16 laps time, as pretty much every truck still out there running. This could get dicey as they get into the restart zone. The flagman readying his arms, waving it, getting going, everyone rolling for the restart here. The excitement is palpable as we could potentially be looking at a very exciting finish here, Armory Digital Superspeedway. Who has put themselves in the right spot at the right time to get to the front and fight for this win? It's really going to come down to position. I wouldn't even count out Al Bunch, who had restarted on this restart in 38th. So keep your eyes peeled for that green and red Sinclair Toyota, maybe to make a charge to the front. Here we have the 65 of Osiel Escobar on the inside. A little bit of pushing help from Santi Messi there. Front five breaking away though at the moment, starting to stretch it out. Wow, a lot of separation for the back half there. We saw this at the first half of the race. They would kind of get spread out, but eventually the draft would start to form and everyone would catch right back up. So perhaps a bit of a safety buffer. They don't want to get up to the front too soon. Some of these drivers actually letting off the throttle to dial it back so that they can try to push when it matters the most. Definitely a little different seeing some of these drivers in rides that we wouldn't obviously see them, or wouldn't see them in from last year. Willow Blake being one of those. We saw her driving the 77 and had a pretty decent truck campaign. She even had even more stellar ARCA campaign, coming close to winning the championship in her first year of ARCA competition. That in part has given her a step up the ladder into Bridge to Cup for a full-time ride this year. But like most of the drivers in Sigma, they want to get all the experience they can, and running this truck series gives them a little bit more track time on tracks that they might need a little bit more experience with. I can guarantee you Willow is taking notes here tonight so that she can show up tomorrow night for that Bridge to Cup race and try to put on one hell of a run, just as she is doing here tonight. 3 by 3 by 3 by 4. This for all the marbles, as we're down to going to be 12 laps to go. Ray Marcus with the lead right now, 3 by 3 behind him. This is also where it gets dicey, like I was saying. Hopefully we can keep all these trucks pointing in the right direction, but there's no guarantee. Once you get racing for the win, a lot of things kind of go out the window. Something impressive to me here tonight is there really isn't a bad spot to be on the track. most of your super speedways, you don't want to get up in that high groove because it'll drop you backwards. But I've seen where being up in the high groove has actually been beneficial for some of these drivers here tonight. So it's honestly a very progressively banked track to where it'll allow for some racing in each line that they run. It's got a little bit of huckabuck there as you saw some drivers get a little squirrely. This is going to get to where we're seeing people making some desperate moves. It's looking close to a potential for Chevy to get a win here tonight. We've got a few more Hornets in the B nest at the front of the field trying to represent Chevy here. 3 of which are all on the inside groove. You got Ray Marcus, Santi Messi, and even Billy Lovejoy, number 2 there. I wouldn't even count out even as far back as Paul Ladino. If Paulo can get down to that low side, could be a threat for the win as well. The second group starting to catch back up, get back into the mix here. They're timing it almost perfectly because with just 10 laps to go now, single digits next time by. Wide for the lead. Willow Blake at the bottom. 2 Toyotas with a Chevy in the middle. And Brian DeBlank makes it 4 wide for second. A lot of desperate moves being thrown at the front of the field. Not quite Hail Mary territory, but some of these drivers might be getting a little bit desperate to make the move sooner than later. Ladino finally finds himself down on the low side. Lovejoy drops as far back as he's been running in a long time. Stuck up on the high side. It's going to be 8 laps to go. Willow Blake leading the way. And no matter how many things change, some things just stay the same. As you've got Guido Piano fighting for a win on a super speedway track. He ended up winning his championship about 2 years ago now at Talladega to win the race and win the championship. So it's definitely something he's got a knack for, racing these super speedways. The only thing that's changed is the truck number. Used to be number 37 in his championship year. Has since hopped over to the 19 Toyota. And we're seeing maybe the next iteration of like a Kevin Harvick. You know, Kevin Harvick used to be very good at Talladega, Daytona, all those super speedway tracks. And I think Guido Piano fits that mold, most definitely. Now, if we do have a caution within the next couple laps, we do have green-white checkers enabled. So things could get stretched out a little bit longer here tonight if we do happen to have a late race caution. Another constant in the series here is you've got Trevor Walker taking the lead. One of your winningest drivers here in the USA Trucks We've seen him win almost every year that he's running the series. And I say almost because he hasn't, but very close to getting a win in every season he's contested. Man, that would have been one hell of a photo finishes. It would have been Noah Hobson taking that from the two that had been leading the whole time there. 6 laps remaining. Almost feels like we need 6 more laps of this. It's back to Trevor Walker, Guido Piano at the front. Ray Marcus going down low there. Jason So, Billy Lovejoy. It always gets so out of sorts on the front end of the track here. Kind of gets settled in the backstretch, and it almost looks like we kind of have, you know, an established leader, and then everything just goes into a tornado once they get to the front stretch. Ladino making a move down low here. He needs to get that inside line if he wants to be in a position to get the win here. Staying in that middle groove though, that is drafting suicide. But maybe not. We'll see. He might try to make a move around Billy Lovejoy here and be in a better position anyways. That number 2 truck slowed up a little bit. 3 laps remaining. I think Paul Ladino's sitting peachy here, because he's going to be able to drive low and take the inside. And yet staying in the middle groove is not the ideal. There we go. Paul Ladino down low with a Chevy team, well, not teammate, just a Chevy comrade, the 5 of Santi Messi. This is for all the marbles as they start rolling around for just a couple laps left to go. 3 wide, going in towards the lead. You've got Krista Cower with the lead right now. Jason So in the Honda. 4 wide for second place. This could get dangerous for the win. Matthew Fastnot taking the lead now. Fastnot's going to lead here with 2 laps remaining. 57 to 58 laps. Still, obviously, a caution would put us into overtime here tonight. But I don't forecast it. I don't forecast any cautions hitting us here, because these guys and gals are all driving very clean, calculated. Fastnot leads over Noah Hobson, Guido Piano, and Willow Blake. Trevor Walker looked like he was hung out to dry, but now finding his opportunity to get back to the front. And nothing is over until it's over. Hopefully everyone can keep rolling and find their way back to the start-finish line without tearing up a whole crap ton of trucks here. Willow Blake in the catbird seat if she can make it work. Loses a lot of drafting, a lot of ground. She's fallen backwards. Unfortunately found the wrong line to run there. Pauladino goes high. Guido Piano goes low. As they're coming to the checkered flag, who is it gonna be? Guido's got the lead right now, but Is there going to be a run on the outside? Is there going to be a run on the inside? Here comes Tasha Wright charging down low. Is it going to be enough? Not quite. As Guido Piano closes the deal here today at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Starting off strong for the number 19 Toyota, the TRD, the racing department entry. This truck might be available for someone else in 2026, part of the Rookie on a Rampage tour. So Guido Piano kind of taking a, last laps around in the 19 truck perhaps, but putting on a good showing to start the season here. Those that want to see the running order, there's the finishing results on the side there. Some newcomers with good finishes here tonight. Billy Lovejoy with a 6th. Ray Marcus fell back to 18th there. And even Casey Nanako with a 26. So those are a few of your newcomers. Violet Void, she had run up at a good position all night, but unfortunately fell back to where she qualified in 31st. So alrighty, folks, that is a wrap for tonight. Our racing action definitely did not fail to deliver, as we had some exciting racing up on the front of the field. A lot of lead changes and a few opportunities for what could have been a surprise winner here tonight. Still somewhat surprising to see Guido Piano in victory lane right out of the gate, but definitely championship caliber there, one of our defending champions of the USA Trucks. So, and for those that are in the West here, you're obviously going to have a week off now to kind of recover and regroup, as the East will tackle Daytona next week. But and then we'll see the second season opener for our USA Trucks with the Eastern season openers. So well, thanks again, folks, for tuning in to the USA Trucks season opener for the West Coast. And yeah, so tomorrow, Bridge to Cup racing action. Everything getting underway here in Sigma Racing. And tonight was awesome. Great race. Minor, very little to no technical difficulties here. So definitely liking the new setup for the computer. And we should be off and rolling with even better production on our races here in 2025. So hopefully y'all have a great night out there. Stay safe. And until next time, tomorrow night in particular, until tomorrow night, this is Jakester signing out.